Don't buy here. Bold statement, right? Especially coming from someone who sells real estate. But if you're thinking about moving to Phoenix or Scottsdale, or one of the new shiny suburbs surrounding them, you need to hear the truth. I'm not here to scare you, but I am here to warn you, because the brochures don't talk about the $800 summer electric bills, or the 45-minute commutes, or the fact that some suburbs are growing faster than the infrastructure can keep up with. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly why people are leaving, and why you might want to think twice before you move into one of those new Phoenix suburbs. We're talking real issues, real names, and yes, I will give you some honest-to-goodness alternatives at the end. Let's get into it. If you're here, you have probably already started doing your homework. Scrolling through Zillow, watching market updates, you've got the financial footing to make the move. And you're wondering if Phoenix or Scottsdale is the right place for you. But if you've been relying on listing descriptions, or you've gone down a YouTube rabbit hole of drone footage over the desert, then let me offer you something better. The actual truth from someone who has been doing this for over 20 years here in the Valley. I'll tell you where things are going wrong, why people are quietly exiting some suburbs, and where the smart money is instead. If you want sunshine and honesty, you are in the right place. Let's talk about 3 specific suburbs that look great on paper, but have some cautionary tales. Now, Buckeye was supposed to be the poster child for affordable desert living. New builds, wide open spaces, and tons of potential. Fast forward to today, buyers are stuck with unfinished neighborhoods, non-existent shopping and dining, and traffic that turns a 10-mile errand into a 45-minute round trip. This city is building homes faster than it is building anything else. And the people that move there for space and peace are now selling because they feel isolated and overlooked. Queen Creek has had a really big boom as well. Master plan communities, marketing campaigns, everything. And the construction here is crazy. Homes and new developments are popping up everywhere. But the infrastructure to support them, a lot of this is still coming soon. Residents here are complaining about poor school capacity, traffic bottlenecks, and ironically, rising home prices in areas that don't offer much more than really pretty drone shots. Now, Santan Valley is another one. Looks great in photos, but it is all sprawl. Now, if you're not sure where Santan Valley is, it is southeast of Queen Creek. It's the kind of place that you don't realize how isolated you are until your gas light comes on, and the nearest station is 20 miles away. People are pulling out of these suburbs, and not because the places or the people are bad, but because they were rushed. This area developed really fast and sold on promises that haven't really been kept. Now, one of the biggest traps that people fall into when they move into the Phoenix area is still believing that all of Arizona is affordable. Now, look, compared to San Francisco or New York, we are. But within the Phoenix suburbs, what used to be considered affordable is not affordable anymore. Sure, in some areas, you can still get a 2,800 square foot home for under $600,000. But what you're not seeing are the additional costs. $300 to $400 HOA fees. Summer electric bills that can be $600 or $700 a month. Rising property taxes across counties. Now, our taxes are still a lot lower than many others, but they are going up. And higher gas bills because you have a 30-minute commute, all because you moved to a place that was a little more affordable. This is all before we talk about pool maintenance, pest control, and if you bought an older home, the air conditioner or roof that you will probably have to replace in about 5 years because it's just gonna be that time. So let's say the costs don't scare you. Maybe you're okay with spending a little bit more. Then why are people still leaving? Because the lifestyle isn't what was promised. The Arizona suburb, especially the new ones, are overwhelmed with development and urban sprawl. Endless rooftops, shopping centers with the exact same 5 restaurant chains, 0 green space, and miles of beige. And after 2020, when many people started to work remotely and spend more time at home, that isolation got really loud. People began craving walkability, personality, and a slower pace. Something that feels more like a real town, not a master plan spreadsheet. And we've reached a tipping point where traffic in some of these suburb areas is now just as bad as it is in central Phoenix. Main roads are backed up. Errands require planning like a military operation. People didn't sign up for that when they moved out there. They thought they were escaping the city problems, not duplicating them 30 miles out. And let's not ignore the family factor. Schools in some of these boomtown cities are overcrowded, under-resourced, or stuck in portable classroom limbo. All right, now let's talk about something that Arizona doesn't always love talking about: the heat. I know we all brag about how much sunshine we have here, and it's a dry heat, right? But here's the deal. feel. The heat is brutal during the summer. We had over 30 days of 110 degrees plus 2 and 3 summers ago. That is not hot, that is hostile. In those conditions, your car becomes a hazard. You can't walk your dog. You can really only spend time outside in the very early morning hours. Or if you're in the pool, you start to feel like you are trapped inside in the air conditioning. Kinda like those people that live in snowy weather during the winter. There's also a growing concern here about water, especially in the outlying areas. The state has actually started denying permits for future development in certain areas because they can't guarantee the 100-year water supply. And if you're moving here from out of state, this isn't obvious, but locals are paying attention. Now, these areas do still have water, but they are getting it from a private water company, which means that the water bills are going to fluctuate a little bit more because they are not regulated the same way that the other utilities are. And then there's the psychological toll. 4 to 5 months of extreme heat can wear you down. People report feeling more anxious, more isolated, and less connected to nature. Because let's be honest, no one is hiking in 118-degree heat. At least no one that really understands what that heat can do to you. That year-round outdoor lifestyle that you saw in the ad, it disappears for 4 to 5 months out of the year. But this is also why most people get out of Dodge a few times during the summer, even if it's for short periods of time, just to get a break from the heat. Something that we're seeing people start to prioritize is more of that 15-minute city model, where you can get to work, groceries, school, parks, and restaurants without needing a 45-minute Spotify playlist. But this is part of our sprawl, and every suburb has its own area to dine and shop and where the entertainment is. And each of them has its own unique feel. But if you don't end up in the right location for you, this is one of the biggest reasons I see people moving to another city within the Phoenix area or moving out of the state altogether. Now let's talk about Scottsdale. This is the one that people always push back on. They say things like Scottsdale isn't like any other suburb. And in a lot of ways, they're right. Scottsdale has cachet. It's beautiful, high-end, and well-established. But here's the truth. It is not immune. In fact, some of the challenges that we've talked about, pricing, infrastructure, aging, and access, they hit harder in Scottsdale because the expectations are that much higher. One of the biggest red flags, you are paying premium pricing for homes that maybe don't deserve the premium. You can easily drop $1.2 million on a 1980s build with original cabinets and only a 2-car garage. In some neighborhoods, you're not buying luxury. You're buying legacy. And legacy comes with outdated bones and inflated comps. Buyers are starting to question if they're really getting a value or just a zip code and a logo on a golf towel. Scottsdale's older luxury neighborhoods like McCormick Ranch, Gainey Ranch, and parts of North Scottsdale are gorgeous, but they are also aging. Pipes, roofs, roads, and power systems are all hitting that 30 to 50 year mark. And many homes need updating and will need major renovations just to make the home feel like it's in line with today's trends. You might buy into serenity, but you could actually be buying into cracked sidewalks, flaky stucco, and high future maintenance costs. Now, Scottsdale is notorious for their HOAs, which can feel restrictive and sometimes have aggressive enforcement. Want to repaint your mailbox? Plant non-regulated plants? Good luck. In some communities, you might feel like the HOA has more control over your property than you do. Okay, so far this video has been a complete roast session on the Phoenix suburbs. So let's bring some balance back to the table, because even with all its challenges, people are still moving here and they are not regretting it. There are still real advantages if you know what to expect and how to plan around the pitfalls. Let's start with the obvious, the sunshine. Over 300 days of it. If you are coming from somewhere gray and rainy, the psychological boost is real. Winters here are magic. Outdoor brunch in January, hiking shorts in February, these happen here all the time. And Arizona still ranks better than any coastal states in terms of overall tax burden. No estate tax, no social security tax. Property taxes are relatively low for high value homes compared to places like Illinois or New York. And if you're self-employed or running your own business, that margin matters. Now, beyond the heat dome in the summer, Arizona is a haven for outdoor lovers. There are mountains, lakes, desert trails, Sedona weekends, Flagstaff getaways. If you love hiking, mountain biking, or even wine tasting, this place delivers. You just need to time it right. Then we have the Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport, which is a top-tier airport. Here, you can find easy connections, quick security lines, and direct flights to almost anywhere that you would want to go. Whether it's Vegas in under an hour or a direct flight to New York, travel from here is a breeze. And if you're based here part-time, it's an ideal hub for snowbirds and remote workers who travel often. Now, not every suburb here is soulless. Some neighborhoods do have amazing local restaurants, farmers markets, a music scene, and an amazing community feeling. The key here is being intentional with where you land. Skip the mass-produced sprawl and look for communities that actually feel established, because that usually means that they are. If you're still planning to move to Arizona and you're thinking smart, long-term, and lifestyle first, here are the areas that deserve a serious look. Gilbert checks a lot of people's boxes. It's family-friendly, has a walkable downtown, and great schools. It still has charm, and it's not as chaotic as some of the other East Valley cities. The Price Corridor Tech Hub keeps Gilbert economically stable. You get suburban comfort with a real town center vibe here. Then we have Chandler. It's not flashy, but it's steady. Good schools, strong infrastructure, lots of professional jobs, and unlike some other suburbs, it feels complete. You're not waiting 5 years for a park or a grocery store. Chandler already has what people are looking for. Now, if you've got the budget and still want to be in Scottsdale without being too far north, look at McCormick Ranch. Here, you have mature landscaping, lakes, golf, and amazing greenbelt paths. It's not totally flashy, but it still feels like a community because it actually is one. Now, if you want a more authentic Arizona experience, look north. Cave Creek and Carefree are quiet, artsy, and full of character. It's less polished than the master plan stuff, but that's the point. You'll find local businesses, fewer chains, and a lot more elbow room. Now, if this video has made you feel uncomfortable, good. That means you were thinking critically. Now, my goal isn't to scare you away from Phoenix. It's to help you make a smart decision within it, because there are a lot of choices. Now, if you want to learn about the houses that you should never buy here, you're gonna want to watch this video. As always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.